Hey everyone, so we are going to end the year by talking about equations and a couple new ways to solve them. So the first way that we are going to talk about is by simplifying them. So let's give an example of that with 9,000 x squared minus 6,000 x minus 15,000 equals 0. So right off the bat, I notice all of these zeros. The second thing I notice is an x squared. So I know that this is a quadratic equation. But those are some really big numbers. So I want to get rid of them. Make them smaller, make them nicer to work with. And I do that by dividing. So first I'm going to see how many zeros I can get rid of. So there's 3 here, 3 here, 3 here. That means I can get rid of 3 zeros. If it was only 900, there's 3, 3, and 2. That means the max I can get rid of is 2. Now I look at the whole numbers and see what they have in common. 9, 6, and 15. What are they all divisible by? 3. So now I can take 9,000 divided by 3,000. Well, that is just 3 x squared. Negative 6,000 divided by 3,000. That's negative 2. And negative 15,000 divided by 3,000, negative 5. Okay? So now from here, we can do a couple different things. You can do the quadratic formula. I'm going to do my zero product property by doing your diamond and rectangle. Plug in our x squared and our constant. Multiply, negative 15x squared goes on the top. Negative 2x goes in the bottom. So what multiplies to be negative 15 but adds to be negative 2? Well, that's a negative 5x and a positive 3x. So now negative 5 and 3x, they only have 1 in common. Negative 5x squared, 3x squared, they only have an x. 3x squared, 3x is a 3x. Negative 5x and negative 5. So then we have our product, 3x minus 5 times x plus 1 equals 0. Now we use our zero product property, set each of the products equal to 0. Solve for x. So there's one of our answers. Add 5 and divide. And there's our second answer. So now we talked about making things smaller. So now let's talk about making things larger. So if we have an equation like 1.2x minus 0.2 equals 3.8 plus x. So decimals are not nice to work with. So we want to get rid of them as much as we can. So what I do is I count the number behind each of the decimal places. So each of them have one decimal place, one place behind the decimal. So that means if I take this whole equation and multiply it by 10, that moves the decimal one place on each of them. If it doesn't have one, like this x, I still move it one place. So since there's nothing there, I need to add a 0 to it. So I now have 12x minus 2 equals 38 plus 10x. They're nicer whole numbers to work with, and we can solve for x like we normally do. Get rid of that 10x. And then divide. We have our solution. What you need to be careful of is equations that could look like this. If we count the places behind our decimals, we have 1 here, but we have 2 here. So that means I need to multiply by 100. So that would move each of the decimals 2 places. So we have 1 and then 2. That second place becomes a 0. We have 20x. Okay, move it 2 places. 3x. And this 1, move it 2 places, plus 100. So now we solve these for x as well. Divide. Let me do some math. 5.88 is our solution there. So it's important when you're moving the decimals, look for the biggest number behind the decimal place, and that's how many times you're going to move it. So I do have a couple questions just like these on your homework. You will have a parabola one, so you can either use the zero product property or you can also use your quadratic formula. It does not matter to me. And then you will also have a decimal one. So go ahead and try these and let me know if you have any questions.